G'day and welcome back for more Space Engineers Survival. And it's time for some welding since we got rudely interrupted by the drones. This all needs to be fixed. So let's get to it. I just ran into something a little bit annoying about mining and digging out an underground base. And that is this tiny little piece of rock here. It almost damaged Igor, which wouldn't have been very nice. Actually, it did damage Igor. Where is it? There we go. The gyroscope got hit. I'm going to have great difficulty hitting this with my hand drill, as you can see. So I'm going to need to pop Igor out of the way and then grab the butterball, and it should be able to get rid of that quite easily. Little bits of voxel like that can be deadly. If I were flying through here and I ran into it, it would actually kill me. So it's important to get rid of them when you find them. Now, where's Igor at? There he is. Let's grab. Let's see if we can get rid of this little bit of rock. There we go. That'll have been it. Excellent. I often find that I do have little pieces like that lying about the place, and it is frustrating having to get rid of them, but the sooner you find them, the better. And what I've normally done, and I did do it this time, but I must have missed that tiny little piece, is I fly around and I look for any that I've left behind. Usually in the corners is where I have the problem. Because I've gone in there with a hand drill and drilled out a relatively sharp corner, and then I've come through with the butterball, it sometimes doesn't quite reach exactly where I've left. And oh, there's another piece I've missed. This one I should be able to get by hand. There we go. Good. Now I think we're clear. Excellent. Alrighty. Well, that was a lot of welding. I think I've used up nearly every single component that I've actually got. I might have maybe 1,000 steel plates left. Hoi. I think we used up maybe 8 or 9,000 in this. But we've now got room enough to build a parking space for all of the welders on this side and for the Buttercup, and a temporary parking space for the Ugly Duckling. Before I go designing them though, I think it would be nice to have a little bit of light. And we might do the painting work before we get too far in as well. To start with, I'm just going to do the boring light that we had before. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. I'm just going to get it so that we can see what we're doing. Because we're designing, it's probably a lot nicer to have it all perfectly bright rather than doing this with fairly dim lights and hoping that they'll be enough to work from. So with our incomplete ones, we can go Control, Control Shift. No, that doesn't work. Control does though. All right, all selected. Let's max out their radius and we'll drop their intensity down to 1. And offset to 5, and that'll do. Now if I weld them all up, they'll all be ready to go, which saves us a bit of fiddling time, which is always a good thing. There we are. plenty of light to work by for our next bit of design. First up, I want to design the spot for the buttercup, since it's currently resting on the floor and it needs a spot for it to charge, since if we've just run out of all of our iron-containing components, we're probably going to need to make another mining run soon, so having it able to charge would be very, very handy. What I think we'll do is plan to have this with 3 spots for parking. The ugly duckling will go in the corner here. Then we'll have 2 other equally sized spots in this larger section here. And the way I think we're going to do that is basically I'm going to end up grinding out a lot of this floor and repaving it. But I figured getting the components here would make it relatively easy for me to do that later. And also I didn't really think through exactly what I wanted to do with this before I welded it, which was a mistake. But that's the way of things. So if I'm going to have a connector like so, and it won't be in yellow. 1 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Maybe what we'll do is we'll bring it in an extra block. What if we put 1 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put another one there? How does that line up with the butterball? Almost called it the buttercup. So let's fly this over so that we can actually see where it lines up and where we'll actually want the connector, because I'm not sure if that's too far back. Oh no, that should be alright. Although, if I put it forward 1 more... Yeah, we'll put it forward 1 more block than that. Because then, I've got a plan to make a walkway, so a little catwalk that we walk up, get up to about this height so that we can jump in without a jetpack. And then we could actually continue that catwalk all the way around the back if we're a little bit further forward, which might be nice. Think of it sort of as a vehicle service catwalk. And because the vehicle's elevated, we'll also be able to get underneath without needing the jetpack at all. So let's grind out this. And there's something else I want to point out. A lot of people said, why are you using the full blocks when I was building floors? It's a waste of armor plates and it makes it more expensive. Well, I've discovered a good reason for it. Well, a good reason to me anyway, because it's all related to aesthetics. If we look at these textures, they all line up really nicely. If we look at the half block, sadly, Keen have not aligned the textures. So it looks like a jumbled mess. You can't really tell from a distance, but up close you can tell that these textures are all cut off and not lining up. So there's your good reason to use a different setup. What I'm going to do with this floor is not use one of the pipe systems. I'm actually going to put a conveyor junction because I think that'll make it easier to connect the pipes up to afterwards. And I'm going to need to get some more parts so that I can actually weld this whole thing up. Maybe I'll load up Igor with a few of the components I need so that I don't have to keep flying back. So we'll drive Igor down and use him as a portable cargo. Whoa! Top heavy storage unit. That'll save a lot of flying around. So we'll weld in a conveyor junction. The reason I think that's going to be more simple to connect to the pipe system under the ground is that then we can just place a conveyor pipes flat piece on it underneath and have straight pipes connecting all of these connector ports, for want of a better way to term them. And so I'm also going to have to grind out this piston since it's not going to be there. Grind out this bit of interior wall, and in its place we'll place another conveyor junction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, perfect. Then on top of all these, we're going to place a couple of connectors, and that'll be pretty well perfect for the butterball. This one, I'm not sure what vehicle's going to end up using it, but We'll work something out eventually. Okay, so we got those connectors set up now. Let's actually attach the... Whoa, dropped a few frames there. With those connectors built, let's connect the butterball up to the first one and see where it places it. See if I am actually completely happy with this. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think there's enough room above for small vehicles to fly past. The butterball is going to have the prime position because it's the one I'm most likely to be flying around. And I realize I have not aligned this on the connector very straight. So let's straighten up a bit. Like so. And now let's park. Okay, that's better. And what I want to do next is... Drat. Didn't bring girders with me, and I need girders. Alright, so we've got the butterball parked on its spot now, and we'll have another spot here for some other vehicle, and then finally, probably on this row, we'll put our ugly duckling, or maybe this one. Actually, this block will probably be where we do it. The reason I want to do it there is I want to put the walkways, or I want to put some walkways to go up to all of these vehicles, and the one for the ugly duckling I think should be up against this back wall. But for these two connectors, what we're going to do is using our catwalks from Shoustall's pack, we're going to use a ramp with railings on both sides, and we'll place it, I think we'll start it here. Then follow that. Actually, no, I think that's too close to the edge. Let's move it one block in. Place one there. And then on that, we're going to follow it up with one of these catwalks with posts. And then we're going to have catwalk open. Where's open? There it is. Have an open one there and an open one here. The idea of this is we'll be able to walk up the ramp up to here, and then if we time it right, we can do this. No, we can't, because I didn't time it right. Grah! Let's try that again. 1, 2, and then we can jump straight in. Not perfect, but I think it's about as good as we're going to get in terms of being able to jump into the butterball without needing a jetpack. And I realize there's no great need for that, but I think it's a bit of fun. Now I wonder, do we want to continue this around the back, or do we want to just stop there? And just have this as a little loading up catwalk and leave everything else clear. I was thinking of having the catwalks run all the way around the back, which is why I moved the butterball forward. I suppose we could use this space for something else if I leave it free. Could put like... No. We can still put those in. I was thinking we could put some butterball relevant LCDs behind, but we'll still be able to do that even if I put these catwalks in. So I want the T intersection 1. Where is it? Come on. I know I've just gone straight past it twice. Let's see if that's around the right way. Yes, it is. Good. And we need the straight coming down this way. Keep using it, and we'll run this down this end until we reach here, where we'll use a turn. Where's the corner? There we go, corner. One corner in there. We'll have another... Oh no! This side is going to go all the way. I was thinking I'd ended it at the other supports, but I think we'll continue this all the way through until it comes around and down to the ugly ducklings one. Now we need another corner. I'm definitely never going to remember where the order of these things is. It is more efficient than having all of these on your hotbar at once, but it can be difficult to find exactly what you're after. I think for the ugly duckling we need to have an... Oh, we can do this, catwalk T. There we go. And then it's ramp time. Where's our ramp? There we go. So we'll be able to walk all the way. Oh, I think I've done that one the wrong way. Let's do it from up here so I can see properly. Yeah, I definitely did that one the wrong way. Just put a barricade directly in my face. Perfect. Just what we were after. So we'll be able to walk all the way around the back of all of these vehicles and come down to here and we'll stop. We'll be able to walk down here and jump into the butterball. Why couldn't I have done it first time like that when I was demonstrating it? Yeah, I think this will be good. Now we need some way to support these as well. Something that looks like they're not just floating in air. And I think probably the best we've got is using some scaffolding like that. Scaffolding piece here. And these. Maybe do that for that part. And put one in here, there. Is that supported enough? Not sure. It'll probably look better once it's all welded up because these won't look open and so weak. Maybe we could add in some of these to make it look a bit stronger. At least on these parts where I've used the full cube armor block. There we go. How's that? Might even put one in there. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I think it looks good enough. Let's fill in this hole. Don't like holes in my floor. Now I'm going to weld up all of these bits and pieces, and then I think we're reasonably done with the butterballs and ugly duckling spots. Once I've got the ugly ducklings connector in, I'll bring it down here and park it down out of the way. After that, we'll get on to the spot for the welders, which is a little more complicated, but I think I've got an idea in mind that will work fairly nicely. So let's get some welding done. Alrighty, now that they're all welded up, I think it actually does look relatively well supported. With the catwalks themselves actually a bit more robust after the welding, it does look a bit better. What I might add in here though is a slab like so. Yeah, I think that helps. Cool. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. I'm not sure that I'll change its color at all. I may make these catwalks a bit grey, something like the grey that I do the support beams up there with, as I think it'll create a bit more depth and interest in here. I am going to need to add little bits of decoration detail about the place, some consoles and things like that. But what I wanted most is to get this functional with a clear idea of the style that I'm going for. And I don't have any interior plate, do I? Of course not. There's going to be quite a few things I need to fix up for these bits, since we've got a whole bunch of interior wall blocks going in weird places that don't really make sense given the layout of this particular parking bay. And I will get around to fixing all of those up. I'm just not doing it yet. But it will get done. I promise. I promise. So I made a little change here. Instead of having the half block, I've actually gone with a full block and the little half slope light armor block, because I remembered that I'm probably going to need to have this catwalk open here, since the ugly duckling's quite small. And let's go grab it now and see if I was right in how I've laid that out. Let's hop in. Grab the ugly duckling control. Thrusters are already on. Batteries are already off recharge. Let's go. I think I am going to have to do something about those rotors, as it is a bit drifty now. Here we go. Let's see if I am right. and park, and hop out, and hop out fully. Let's walk up here. Yeah, that works nicely because we can actually walk straight up and hop straight in. Ah, yes. Very happy. So this is roughly what I was thinking of doing for this. I think it's worked out reasonably well. We do, as I said, need more detailing. I need to fix the floor patterns. And I need to actually connect those connectors up to the conveyor system. But I wanted to lay them out first before I started drilling out underneath, since I wasn't completely confident in where they were going to need to be. But now that they're sorted, I'll be able to come back later and do a whole big construction of all of the conveyor system, because I don't think I've even got it underneath this part of the hangar, and go the whole way through and all the way around to both of this side and this one. And speaking of this side, let's get rid of this piston and let's finish off that interior wall plate, and let's get rid of this as well. Fill that in with a light armor block and do the same here. There we go. All right. For this side, we're going to have to do things differently. The Nugget and the Buttercup have their connectors at the rear and on top. I could possibly even design this space so that Igor could connect up here? Maybe? Am I going to build any more welders? Probably not. So maybe this could just be a permanent spot. So what I'm going to need to make this work for those three is to have connectors coming out sideways, like so, and another roof or another vertically aligned connector to lock down onto the Buttercup. And I think what we should do for this is design it so that we've got Igor closest to the exit, since he's going to be the hardest one to get past the others. Then, because both Igor and the Nugget have connectors out sideways like this, I reckon that should be the next one. And then somehow down the back here, I'm going to need to do a piston-based connector for the Buttercup. Now, Igor, you like having your connector quite low. Maybe I won't put Igor in here. Maybe I'll leave this for another flying-based one and come up with a spot for Igor later. Yeah, I think it's going to be too hard. Let's just do something so that we've got a horizontal connector for any flying ships that are rigged up that way. So like on the other side, I think what we'll do is something like this will probably work. If I have it coming out of the floor like that, and then have the connector on there, and then have the next one do the same. With probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that same gap as we did on the other side. So if you have two connectors like that, I can easily pop the Nugget on one of them and then have a free one for another ship. Then I think I'm going to do this next one a bit differently to how I've done the roof connector with the piston for the other one. And I think this is going to work much, much better. So if we grind out this bit of floor and drill down a bit. That should be enough. We're going to need to pop a light armor block in. We'll need to get rid of that. Put a couple of light armor blocks in, and then what we're going to do is, where's my piston? I know I got a piston on here. We're going, oh, this might not work here. I might need to have this further out, or move it over to here. That's It's going to be very close to that pole. What I wanted to do was to have this piston come out of the floor like that, connect up to some conveyors like so, come out and then down, and then have the connector on here. What this will allow me to do is to raise this up out of the way and then lower it down using the piston in the floor rather than having to figure out how to get a piston up in the ceiling. And I think this will look much better. I'm not quite sure why this didn't come to mind when I was doing this one. It makes a whole lot more sense to do it this way. I might build this piston first, because if it works, then we'll be fine with this position, but it may not function as it currently is. There we go. Okay, let's see if it works properly this time around. Now that I've actually set it up properly, I was wondering why it was behaving the way it was. It wasn't making a lot of sense. Alright, let's pop a few of these conveyor tubes on so that I'm actually testing what I set out to test. And those are the only ones that I'm worried about, but I don't think they're going to be an issue. I'm just worried that the piston top will be. Piston. That one? Yes! Okay, it works. Good. Bad. Bad because I had it extending too far. So we'll have to set that up in a moment, but it is all going to work nicely. Now maybe add one block further. And then we can have our corner. Then we can have our connector. And we can have our Igor get out of the way. I am going to go and turn off the projector so that we don't have to see that Z fighting anymore, since it is slightly distracting. Alright, so the height we need this to go to. We want it to finish probably when it comes down another 2.5 meters higher than this, so we'll set our pistons minimum to 2.5, and its maximum, we've got 2.5 from one block, 5, 7.5. It can probably go up to 8.5 meters, so that it goes slightly above the height of the edge of the archway there. And let's check that out, see if that does work. Piston, 7, maximum distance, 8.5, okay. Hit reverse, and our minimum distance, we were going to set it to 2.5. Let's check that out, let's see how that goes. Yeah, that works much nicer. Much neater way of having the piston than doing this. Why did I think that was the way to do it? Splitsie. Because I can do a connector like this for the goose as well, and it'll work so much better. So I'm going to quickly weld all this up, and I probably have to go back and get a bunch more steel plates, and so hopefully I've managed to manage that. Alright, we'll weld this up, and then I'll start on some ideas about how to make this look better after we've got a couple of the vehicles in place so that we can see what sort of scale we're working with on this particular parking spot. Okay, our connectors are ready. Let's get the nugget out of the way first. Get it into position, although possibly Buttercup would have been my smarter move, but oh well. I've got it now. I'm doing it. I'm going to need to get Igor out of the way as well. Whoa. Did not cope with the disorientation then. Park. There we go. Finally, you're out of the way. And Buttercup. Now, let's see how we go connecting you up. Since we're going to need a couple of buttons for your storage so that you're moved up and out of the way and then down to a safe height. Because I want to get in and then disconnect. Or get in, lift. What will I want to do it with? I want it up this high when I'm coming back, and I'll probably want it down low when I'm getting out and disconnecting. I'm pretty sure if I jump out now and I happened to jump into this with myself anywhere near those thrusters, I am very much dead. I'm going to wait till they slow down, because I think I did jump in from one side. Is that going to be slow enough? I think that'll be slow enough. Yep. I would have been smashed to smithereens because I got slightly tapped by this little thruster here. Okay. Now, is this going to work alright if I reverse it now? Can I get in and control it? Nope. No. Okay. Let's do it the other way then. Around here. Piston 7. And reverse. Let's see how low she goes. Do-do-do-do. Oh yeah, I think that's pretty good. Nice. I'm quite happy with that. So I would say we probably want to do something similar on these parking bays as we've got on the ones for these mining or, mining/utility ships. For these welding vehicles, I reckon we'll do something similar with the catwalks. So I'm going to grab a few girders so that I can place a bunch of catwalks. After I ditch the other stuff that's in my inventory so I can't hold them. Okay, with some girders in hand, we've got to remember that we're going to be walking up from this side, so any walkways should come from this way. And let's start with the buttercup. I've left a fair bit of space behind it, and maybe I actually want to shorten this a bit. I put it dead center, but that does put the welder right out here. Whereas if I shortened it a bit, I could shorten it one block maybe? That could work. Yeah, let's do that. I feel like it's too far forward. So let's disconnect. And we'll go back a bit. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to use this as my temporary dumping ground so that I can grind these off. Nope, not enough room. Drat. I was hoping I might get away with it. So let's make this one a curve. How did I manage to get this to yellow? There we go. Make that a curve, and then it's just straight down onto the connector here. All right, let's try that out. So first off, let's fix up our piston so it's nice and high, making life easier. Reverse. Definitely going to need some button panels around here for controlling this, making life simpler. And hopefully we'll be able to set up some sort of control on the buttercup itself to make this easier. Alright. I didn't pay attention to where I got in, so let's hop out. Let's get in from the front so that we can exit even once these things start crazy spinning. And lock. And hop out. Yes, safe. Good. Maybe I need to keep that in mind with how I place these catwalks so that it always walks me in and out of the correct position. I wonder if there is a way we can do that that's even vaguely sensible. I suspect there's not really, because any walkway is going to come along the side and that's going to put me straight over this thruster, so I'm just going to have to be mindful of that very high rate spinning thing so that I don't end up getting, well, put in a blender. Alright. Back to what we were doing, which is placing down some ramp in here. Not that way. Not that way either. Yeah, that way. So if we go with one there, yeah, I can just go with catwalk T, like so. That should be everything I need. Yeah, because I can actually get in straight from there. But maybe it would make more sense if instead of that, I go with our ramp one block further over here. No. No, I'm going to do it this way. I was thinking for a second I might have the ramps, the catwalk, go off to the buttercup and the nugget from this side, but I think I'll do something similar to what I did down there and have the mid ramp between these two. And 1, 2, 3, 4 rats! I've lined this up wrong as well. Clearly, Splitsie cannot count. I wanted to have an odd number in between because I want to have it evenly spaced on both sides with these two connectors and the catwalk in between. So I'm going to move this one. Now we're better placed. Alright, let's put back in... Actually, let's do these ones first. So one in there. Then we go with our... Maybe a straight section first. So a straight section there. Then we'll have our open ready for... Do I need 2 rows? I think I need... No. I'm going to do this the same as the other side. Make them look like they come off some sort of assembly line. One there. One there. Even though I don't think this is going to be enough to get on there. Yeah, not quite. Be more of a load up from the front sort of thing with these ones. But I think it'll look kind of cool having them similarly designed on both sides. Now, this is going to be the interesting part. Because I've got these as far back as I do, I can't really have the catwalks running around straight along the wall here because they'll be half embedded. So what I'm actually going to do is grab our straight, or I'm going to try this anyway. I'm not sure it's going to look any good. We'll go straight one there, and we need a T. Where's the T? That's the T. So we need a T in here, like that, followed by a straight there. Then we're going to put a stair in here. Maybe I should do the ramp. No, stair. I need the supports. And the ramp won't really allow me to put a support in properly because it'll look funny. Because I can't really attach anything to the bottom of the ramp, whereas this block here I can. So I can put a cube directly under here, put a little ramp under this bit, and then it'll look like this gets supported all the way up to here, where we'll go with another straight section. Like that. Then we can have another ramp, another stair down, and back to the correct height. How's that going to look? I think it'll look alright. I think it'll make it a bit more interesting around here. So where's the stairs with both? There we go. Then the straight. Although this can be just a one-sided one, can't it? Catwalk wall. One there. Another one there. Then it's just straight home. Oh no, wait. No, I need a T. I need a T. Not that one. This one. Alright, cool. So we can walk up here. We can hop in the buttercup. We can walk around here, up and over the connector. And then we can hop in either of these two from this bit of catwalk. Now what to do here? Do I want to put more catwalk in behind there? Yeah, what I might do with this one is slightly different to what I've got on the other side. Let's put a straight in. Is that the correct straight? That would be a smarter way of aligning it since I can't really see it against the rock. Straight in there, then stair again. Up there. Then I might just put in an end piece. Right up here on top of the connector part. There we go. Like that. I think that'll look reasonably good. If I'm not happy with how supported the catwalks look, what I will do is I'll replace these corners with conveyor junctions so that they're all connected up. And I probably will end up doing that, to be honest. I was kind of hoping to have this all pipe-like, but I think I'll need to put the junction in there to make it look supported properly. Now, something I should think about before I place these back on is, do I want the lights on either side of these connectors, or do I want them top and bottom? I think I normally go with top and bottom, and I think I'll stick with that here. So let's change it to that way around. I think with the old model, it used to be more obvious which way you probably wanted it up and down, but with it being symmetrical now, it's a little more difficult to decide. But yeah, I think that looks better than side to side. Let's park the Nugget before I cook myself on its thrusters. And there we go! All of the connectors we need for our current vehicles, except for Igor, are in. And I'm actually pretty happy with how this has turned out. Oh, the connectors may be in, but these look ridiculous because they ain't supported. Probably help if I had some steel plates so that I could place down the rest of these things. And this is where I'm grateful that I didn't use the ramp. See, I want to support this part, and if I'd placed one of these half slopes underneath a ramp, it'd look silly because it wouldn't actually be attaching to anything. Whereas at least this way, it does look like it's properly there. I'm pretty happy with how these have turned out. Bit more detailing, some more interesting lighting, and I think they'll look pretty good. Same over here. We definitely need to finally attach them to the conveyor system, but that's going to be a fair bit of work, so that'll be coming next time. And next time we'll also build, in here I think, a temporary connector system for the Goose. Same style as we've done for the Buttercup here, so using the piston to push it up instead of using the piston to lower it down. Those aren't moving, are they? No. Good. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to grind out this. I'm going to move the Goose inside, and for the first time ever, we're going to have all our vehicles inside, and we're going to close the doors. And that's going to be the end of this episode. So let's get this grinding going. I'm going to leave this conveyor, I think I might leave this connector here until I build a cargo container in this little alcove so that I've got access, but I'll leave this connector here for now. Grinding, grinding. Oh, this feels good to get rid of. Feels so good to get rid of. Especially after I ran into it with the tick. It feels very good to get rid of it after that. Because that was sad. The tick got through all of those battles that it did with the drones. Didn't take even a scratch. And then what do? I go and blow up half of its turret by driving into a conveyor system. I recall when I first put these conveyor systems in that I said, yep, these are temporary. Temporary, huh? How many episodes has it been since I first put them in? And they're finally gone. Let's get the Goose inside. Good enough parking job. Excellent. So the Goose is inside. And the last thing to come inside... Oh, why is your connector red? What? What? No! No, 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 no! Ah! The tick's out of power. Right. Well, that's not good. I'm going to... How am I going to fix this? What's the best way to fix this? I'm going to do something very different to what I've done to fix this problem when it happened with the ugly duckling. I'm actually going to use the nugget to fix this issue. Nugget's got plenty of battery power. And I should, if I'm clever about this, and hopefully don't end up inciting clang upon myself. So I should be able to... Let's add in a bunch of armor blocks here so that I'm not anywhere near the turret when I do this, because this is going to be a little bit crazy. What I need to do is get a rotor and a rotor part. So we're going to put the rotor part onto the tick, weld it up. Then, over here on, I can almost hear the cries of, no, don't do it, it's going to end up horribly. Over here, we're going to place a rotor, but I'm going to need to grind down one of these. Let's put it a little bit out as well, so we've got a bit of room to play with. And rotor. Grind off the rotor part from it. Apparently grind the rotor instead of the rotor part. There we go. Now, it's really dark. Slightly less dark now. Okay. So we need to line this up. And because I've got the rotor on this grid, we should be able to connect. And with Clang hopefully not having done anything horrible, we now have power. So let's grab the batteries, the battery on the tick, set it to recharge, get it a little bit of power in it, just enough to get to its own connector. Doesn't need much more than that. I'm not sure how much that will actually be. Maybe... Probably shouldn't need more than about 20 kilowatt hours? Something like that. So if we have it on recharge and then we grab our rotor and we do detach now. So now we're disconnected from the tick. Let's hop in the tick. That battery's still left on recharge, so all of the stuff that was on that was costing power, like the lights and all that, we can actually turn off now. If we turn off, and then take off recharge. Haha! There we go. Got plenty of power. Excellent. So I can now hook it up, grind off that weird appendage that it grew to get this power. And I was able to do that without building any batteries or reactors. I think someone suggested this to me at the time I built the reactor onto the ugly duckling when I let its power run dry way back at the start. And I've been wanting to use it for ages. So if you were the person who mentioned that to me, thank you. It's been very helpful. All right, time to close the doors. We got to do this. We've got to close them. I'm going to actually use a button panel to do this because... Oh, actually, do I want a button panel? No, I'm going to just use a switch. I'm just going to use a plain old switch. We'll pop it over here for now. Don't have any particular reason why I chose that spot, but it works. What we're going to do... Ooh, do I even have those doors rotors grouped? I do not. Hangar doors. Base hangar doors. Save. Ooh, I really hope I've got these set up correctly. Oh, I did have a hangar blast doors. Whoops. Reverse, I believe. Is going to work. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Closing up. We're going to need some alarms and lights and things for this. But that is looking good. It's looking good. We're locked in! Oh, finally, we've got enough room in the hangar that we are inside, plenty of space to work with, and the doors are shut. And on that note, with our blast doors all closed up, us all safe inside from any of the enemies, well, sort of safe inside from any of the enemies, we've got a bunch of conveyor system stuff to do next time, and I'm also going to get rid of this thing properly. We'll put a cargo container inside here, we'll finish off welding up all of these pipes inside the elevator shaft, might even look at how we could do some doors that'll automatically open when the elevator arrives for these doorways. So there's that, and plenty more to come. So I'll see you then.